The Hermanus Whale Festival, a contentious issue for sure. And with the recent media uproar in mind, I think the festival has reached a crisis point. It's really time to look at the facts and let an event professional suggest a sensible way forward. So stay with me for the next 20 minutes because there is a potential solution. My name is Lawrence Heron. For those of you who don't know me, I've lived in Hermanus for 25 years and I run a local business. But more importantly, I have a long and successful background in major events both in Europe and here in South Africa, which gives me the right, quite frankly, to constructively criticise any event, including the Whale Festival, but from an informed point of view. Now, the point of this video is to explore a positive and viable way forward for what was the world's leading community and cultural festival. But before we can get there, everyone, particularly those against the festival, must face and accept some uncomfortable facts. Now, I took the time to visit the festival at length this Saturday, October the 4th. The roads leading into town were not as busy as previous years, but on the other hand, quite large crowds of people were walking into the festival from the outlying suburbs. Now, hold that thought because it's important. At the festival centre, in my estimation, there would have been about 15,000 visitors over the course of the day. These visitors were visibly enjoying the festival. Happy people with big smiles. And remember, that's 15,000 people clearly enjoying a family day out, and the majority of those visitors were Hermanus residents, many of whom were so looking forward to the festival that they were prepared to walk kilometers to get there. For those of you that took part in the social media outrage against the event, do you truly believe that you are so important that you have the right to stop 10,000 or more Hermanus residents enjoying a family fun day? I mean, seriously? No, you do not. Now, while you soak that up, if you had visited the site of the festival centre on Wednesday, October the 8th, as I did, you would have seen that there was no evidence whatsoever that a festival had actually been there. The CBD, Gearing's Point and the Old Harbour are as clean and tidy now as they were prior to the festival. The town has not been wrecked, nor is there a trail of destruction where the visitors have been, and there never has been following any of the nearly 30 whale festivals that I have either been involved with or attended. These are the facts, whether you like them or whether you do not. But it's only from here that we can talk common sense. In fact, there are only two issues that people have with the festival in its current form. First, it causes a massive negative impact on the town for a short time due to the huge, though dwindling, number of visitors. Secondly, even though the visitors do eventually find their way through the traffic jams and find somewhere to park, local businesses feel that they don't benefit much from their presence. So how do we move forwards? Well, as an event professional, let's establish a couple of parameters. Hermanus is a world famous tourism town. Our economy revolves around tourism. Now, although people hate to admit it, it was in fact the Whale Festival that drove the notoriety of our town throughout the world and hence helped to build its wealth. It wasn't the whales. So parameter number one. A whale festival in some form or other must remain as a fundamental part of the town's culture and history to attract tourism. Hermanus without a whale festival would be unimaginable. And parameter number two will be a surprise, and it must be viewed as a cornerstone of any future planning. Any major event organizer in Hermanus today must learn these 4 words. Minimum impact, maximum benefit. The words explain themselves. And in fact, those 4 words are used as a guideline for hundreds of events throughout the world today. Now, let's take a closer look at the problems by facing the facts. Okay, item number 1, let's deal with those 15,000 people and the huge marquees. Instead of trying to stop a successful event, let's rather minimize the impact. So, to begin with, just accept the fact that 15,000 Hermanus residents are going to be in the CBD. The festival veterans among us know that nothing happens on Friday and nothing happens on Sunday, so the first step would be to limit the waterfront activity to Saturdays only. The tear down and clean up would begin on Sunday and the town would be back to clear and clean by Tuesday, impact reduced. The music tent, affectionately known as the Coke tent. This has become a well-loved and expected part of the festival. It's the sound stage attached to the marquee on Gearing's Point. Again, limit it to Saturday and shut it down by 8 p.m. The teardown and cleanup again would begin on Sunday. The town and the site will be back to clean and clear by Tuesday, impact reduced. The eco-marine element. Oh dear. It is a most basic rule of event management. A festival is for entertainment. A classroom is for education. Don't confuse the two. If you really do want a Let's Save the Planet feature in the Whale Festival, it does not need to be in a damn great ugly marquee stuck in front of 6 of the busiest restaurants in town. Put it where it belongs, in the Civic Auditorium. It's a fine venue for education. You put your displays in the banquet hall and you hold your talks and lectures in the auditorium. You can have an eco conference for the whole week. You can invite hundreds of people and bother absolutely no one. It is perfect. So that's an event structure taken off the list and the build, tear down and clean up removed. Impact significantly reduced. Now those food vendors. It's a fact that most people actually look forward to affordable and quickly available snacks on the run. This is your curly chips and ice creams. Providing good food vendors actually helps to create the festival atmosphere. Having a lot of vendors on site reduces the queues to each and hence improves the experience for the visitors. Here again, limit them to Saturday only. The exit and clean-up begins on Sunday, the site's clear and clean by Tuesday. Here again, impact reduced. Now, you may be forgiven for thinking that I'm suggesting that the Hermanus Whale Festival should be for one day only. And you would be absolutely 100% wrong. I have simply reduced the negative impact of an extremely popular and well-attended festival. Personally, I want the festival to generate revenue for local businesses for 2 full weeks every year. And there is a whole world of possibilities that have never been explored to reinvent a new look, world-class festival. So let's turn our attention to the other major objection of the Whale Festival. Local businesses, notably restaurants and guest houses, don't feel that they benefit from all those visitors. And we have finally reached the heart of the matter. And I need to give you a history lesson. Music initiated the first festival. Not the whales, not the Spring Festival, not the Oktoberfest. No, it was actually an independent new project. A single local entrepreneur had gathered a list of eager bands and musicians, and he needed a number of venues for them to play in. He clearly understood that if he could get the venues and musicians together at the same time, he would create a music festival. So, both venues and the musicians were duly booked. But he needed a name for the festival. And it was while walking past the old harbour that a whale breached. And from that moment came the name that has gone down in history, the Hermanus Whale Festival. This festival grew and became the first stop on the annual summer tours for many South African musicians. And just to clear up any doubts, I was there, you were not. So, to secure a stable future, the Whale Festival must, in my opinion, return to its original motivation, music. But again, put it where it belongs. Though it may surprise you, we don't actually need a soundstage marquee. The clear overall objective is to encourage customers to stay in hospitality venues and eat in local eateries for an extended period of time without causing any disturbance to the town. It can be done. It has been done at many festivals throughout the world, purely driven by music. Now, let me point out before we go any further that this isn't the first time I've been down this road. The solution is what is known as the small venue music festival. And to set the scene for this, we'll look at a couple more of those facts. In addition to the formal venues like the Grobler Hall, we actually have dozens of fine music venues in Hermanus. They are called restaurants and bars. And a restaurant full of paying customers causes no negative impact to the environment whatsoever. The trick to filling all those small venues is to get them to compete against each other with live music. Yes, that is what I said. To compete against each other with live music. With the musicians and marketing in place, festival visitors choose the restaurant for a meal by the flavour of the music, not necessarily by the flavour of the food. Now, because there is no negative impact, there is no reason to limit the duration of the event. We could, for example, have opened the festival on Friday, October the 3rd and closed it on Saturday, October the 11th. A whole week of good quality music that bothers no one, yet attracts paying customers to multiple venues. Stayovers obviously are provided by local hospitality. Now, Mr. Municipality, you must play your part in this. Create a temporary Whale Festival entertainment license and make it legal, easy and free for every legitimate venue to have live entertainment in their venues for the duration of the festival. You can put rules on it, like performance types restricted to music and cabaret only. Performance must be inside the venue, no outdoor stages. Performances must be by live artists only, no DJ sound systems. All the music must stop by 10 p.m. Whatever rules you need. But now, once we have this in place, Mr. Venue owner, it is up to you to make it work. I don't want to hear howls of protest or 1,000 reasons why it won't work. If you want customers in your venues during the Whale Festival, then get up off your chair and do the work. There are currently 27 extremely successful major small venue music festivals happening throughout the world during 2025. And for 2026, that number looks like it's going to grow to over 30. And there are dozens of small ones around the place. The reason they are becoming popular is those 4 words: minimum impact, maximum benefit. The mechanics are quite simple. Each venue owner organises his own entertainment schedule to suit and complement his own business. The Greek restaurant will probably want Greek music, and the Italian, obviously Italian music, but it's up to you. A basic rule for every participant everywhere is to be sensible. Think about every other venue around you. Each one of you has the opportunity to exploit the festival. Don't mess it up for everybody else by being greedy or arrogant. And a couple of other simple rules. Venue owners, you must pay the musicians. You don't give food away for free, they don't give music away for free. And get good ones. Don't get a tone-deaf unknown that's drifted in from the mountains. Remember, you wouldn't drive all the way to Cape Town to go and see an idiot. So don't expect anybody to drive all the way here to see one. And a cover charge for a really good entertainer is never out of the question. Now, local newspapers and marketers, no one expects you to work for free, but be sensible. This is about Hermanus. Put together a set of special rates and fees that will help to make the festival work for everyone, including you. And finally, Mr. Restaurant Owner, if you are too proud to get on board, Don't complain if your venue is empty and not included in the market. Be sensible or be quiet. Now, let's bring it all together. If we wrap a small venue music festival around a family fun day enjoyed by literally thousands of Hermanus residents, what you get is a unique but typically Hermanus mix of a multicultural festival. Now, a quick word about sponsorship. This must be kept under strict control or we'll risk wrecking the festival again. Do you remember the dreadful Two Oceans Whale Festival nightmare? We must never go back there. It was a disaster in the worst possible taste. So Mr. Sponsor, please do get involved and support the new look Hermanus Whale Festival. You could, for example, sponsor one of the formal venues like the Grobler Hall or the Sandby Hall and put a lineup of musical entertainment in there. Exploit the opportunity to fulfill your marketing objectives by all means. But you can't build an ugly marquee or a soundstage or any other monster structure anywhere near the CBD or the waterfront. We're sorry. Our fine venues are here to be used, to employ local staff and to be filled with a paying audience. So there, ladies and gentlemen, is a framework for a festival style that has been adopted successfully throughout the entire world, but adapted to make it Hermanus style. And yes, I agree, it would take a year or two to build a whole new reputation. It will inevitably start slowly, but others have found that momentum grows quickly if it's done properly. And yes, I agree it would take a year or two for the venues to learn how to exploit the new situation. Again, expect it to start slowly. Miracles don't happen overnight. And I'm sorry, Mr. Municipality, but you really must step up and do something useful for your town. Facilitate the opportunity. Provide the temporary entertainment license to every legitimate venue that needs one, because everyone must stay within the law. The success of the venture remains entirely in your hands. Don't fail your people. This is about promoting Hermanus as an international tourist destination with a concept that has benefits for every facet of our community. And remember, there are very successful similar examples to be found all around the world. And finally, yes, I'm sorry, but there will be more people in town for a week or two. Of course, there will be more people in town. How else are you going to fill the guest houses and restaurants? It will take perseverance, but working together, we could create an internationally known event filled with a multicultural mix that only Hermanus could draw together. Now, wouldn't that be something to really brag about?